Gaelic poem is a little bit more modern. It was written in the last 20 years by one of our more modern poets, a man called Louis de Quer, and he was born in 1961 in County Cork, so he's relatively young, a few years before myself. And this poem is called Corthy Puisht, Postcards, Corthy Puisht, and it's one of my favourite Irish poems ever, really, because I love the imagery of it, and I love the sounds, the way the sounds are put together, and the choice of words that he uses in the different verses. Again, it's a short poem. It has 4 short verses, and it's full of imagery. So maybe I'll just read the poem and say a few words about it at the end. So this is Corthy Puisht by Louis de Quer. An tair in a chríochar bán ag críos glórach na bhfuilán, os cion an tráléire ag teacht chun cuaing, is clogáin na ngabhar ag búlú go toll I measc na gran límáin. Sean van a bheistis cuinte, cromtha faoi úlach padracha, ina círóg chráifach, ag tríal an arigal, cuis cladig, is clog práis slóta le merig, ag casatig sa sépéal éildáte. Leanáin órtha ag siúil na trá, ag éisteach le bladar na farige, is ire cíanéista, I davarna bhór chunig, ag immert fitheile le hiirlis, im rístín snáda, a gárbach bán ó Franks nua áireach. Ordáin os cion na trá, brachamid a bítar solis fór. Is seolamid manachtaí gréine Corthy Puisht go héire. So essentially the theme of this poem is a little bit like the last one, in which exile is running through this poem, but it's not self-imposed. It's sort of like reflecting back on the old days, but with an ability to return to those days by returning back to Ireland, if the poet wanted to do that. And I might just say a couple of words about the imagery in this particular poem. The first verse, if you can picture a very nice sunny blue sky day, looking out over the Atlantic or the Pacific, and in the first verse he talks about seagulls, os cion an tráléire, flying above the trawlers, the fishing trawlers, and teacht chun cuaing, which are coming into port. Ag búlú go toll, with the sound of the trawler beating against the waves as it approaches the harbour. And then there's a complete contrast in the second verse, where he begins with Sean van a vestis quinta, an old woman, Sean van a vestis quinta. She's dressed in mourning clothes, so she's mourning the death of somebody. And she's cromtha faoi úlach padracha, she's bent over with the weight of prayer. So this woman is a very elderly religious woman, and she's walking to the church beside the sea. So on one hand you have some fishing boats coming in from the sea. Then if you cut into the actual strand or the beach where this woman is in mourning, a completely different feeling, and walking to church. And then you have his clog próis slóta le merig, the brass rusty sound of the bell on the goats. So there are goats on the hillside. So you've got a hillside looking down over the sea with the previous two activities going on, and now you have goats kind of running around making this noise with bells around their necks. A casatic sa sépéal éildáte. So this woman is on her way to this multicolored church, which is quite a nice way of describing this building that's been painted with different colours. Then the third verse, he begins with Leanáin órtha ag siúil na trá. Leanáin are lovers, so boy and girl ag siúil na trá. forbidden lovers. Good choice of the word orta here, which means that they shouldn't be walking along the shore hand in hand in public view. It's just not the given thing to do. And they're engaged up to the bladder na fariga. They're listening to the flapping of the sea or the waves breaking on the shore. And then cut again to a tavernia arvor conic. There's a pub or a hostelry on top of the hill where these goats are. And there are two people there, a Gimmert Fehela, playing chess. And one of them is the grandson of the other man. The grandson is home from the Bronx in New York. So he's home on a holiday, having been exiled to New York in the past. And there's a nice close to the poem then when he says, Ordon os Cion na Tra. Os Cion na Tra means above the sea. On a cliff head above the sea, Bracamid abiter solisher for, we see the light of the sun scattered like parchment. So it's like a blue sky, but maybe streaks of scattered white cloud. The Sholomid or Manic Ukraine, and we send our sunny blessings on postcards, on postcards to Ireland. So a similar theme to the last poem, but a bit more jolly. And nicer use of language. I think it's a bit more appropriate to the themes in there.
Quick question. What percentage of the words, which I did not find many, sound like their English counterparts? Not so many as I thought.
From this one? Well, the first two words, it says on tear in a Creever bond. Tear means air. Spelled differently, like A-E-R. There's nothing much else. There's no translation for Bronx, it's just the spelling for Bronx is in English. Nua Auruk, would you have known that?
Yeah.
Nua Auruk. Corti, cards. And pushed, post. So there isn't Aaron, of course, Aaron meaning Ireland. There's a few, maybe half a dozen or something. So that's Corti pushed by Louis de Puer.